here in Flow Rider, Volusia County, Florida. Here live with the WSDCA, Western States Dwarf Car Association, here for the Southern Nevada Regionals. Hello, race fans, and welcome to LSRTV. My announcing partner here tonight, Nolan Rempel, Charles Newton behind the cameras, and myself, Brandon Kreutz, here enjoying the beautiful warm weather in Central Florida and ready to go racing on a beautiful virtual night. So Nolan, ready to pick things up here, and we know that there's some pretty good money on the line, and of course thank you to the series partners for everything that they do here, and these guys are ready for another good night of racing.
Oh, absolutely, Brandon. And boy, how good is it to finally be here? Of course, there was some minor tech issues that had to be sorted first, so a little bit of delay on that one. But well, the good news is we are here and ready to rumble. Just a few minutes, of course, left in practice, and well, I certainly can't wait to kick this night off at last.
Absolutely correct. And here at the Volusia Speedway Park, formerly known as the Volusia County Speedway and the Barberville Speedway, the half-mile clay oval, rich in its auto racing history, has been through many configurations of its past. This racetrack, originally opened in 1968 as a quarter-mile dirt oval built by Benny Corbin, operates for a full year before expanding to a 3/8 mile dirt oval. In 1972, they expanded again to a half-mile. And in 1982, Dick Murphy bought the Speedway grounds, paved it in 1989, and this track would hold home to the NASCAR Busch Series up until 1992, when the track would be sold again and converted back to dirt. In 2005, the track would be sold again to Dirt Motorsports, currently known as World Racing Group, and this famed racetrack is hold home to the most famous dirt track auto racing events, as well as series such as the World of Outlaws, Super Dirt Car Series, and Dirt Car UMP. And Volusia Speedway Park, of course, still operating today at a beginning of the year schedule here, trying to get away from the rainy months of Florida, but they do operate full force, and a lot of history behind the Speedway.
A lot of history indeed, a lot to certainly unpack when you look at how many different times and how many reconfigurations this track has gone through, especially with the differences in both the track length and of course the surfacing. It almost in a way reminds you of how Atlanta Motor Speedway started, what with that track being at first an oval before being converted to a quad oval as well. So it definitely has undergone a lot of changes, and well, I think that adds that much more of a special feel to this little speedway.
Absolutely it does, and well, I'm gonna go over the weather here at Nolan. It's a nice crisp 65 degrees out here, and track temp right around 56 degrees, so it should hold moisture pretty well, and I do expect these guys to, especially from what I've seen last night, be able to move around just a little bit, and I do expect the main group to be right up against the outside guardrail by the end of the night, but we will have that bottom grip strip right against the inside wall where these guys are going to try to hesitate to run against pretty much all night until they really have to, because they can be kind of a sketchy line right against that inside concrete, especially with the uneasy and short wheelbase cars such as the midgets.
Absolutely, and already we've seen in this little practice session a lot of the cars really flirting with that inside concrete barrier, and some drivers making contact, getting shot around. So definitely a sketchy line to run down there, but while it is tacky and grippy, it could be a good place to try to make up those moves. Of course, gotta have to watch out for that slider line as well. No doubt might come into play as well. So, well, I'll tell you what, it's going to be a very, very interesting night of racing tonight, and it's going to be a full event too, and looks like about 4 heats we're getting set for, plus a consolation race before tonight's feature event.
Absolutely, and speaking of heat races, should maybe looking like 4, possibly 5 heat races for the night. It's going to consist of 10 laps, 4 cars advancing over to the feature, and after heat races we'll move into a 20-lap consolation race, and I'm going to assume probably about 8 cars to the feature from there. All of these guys, of course, it'll be determined by how many heat races we actually have, but I'm going to guess about 8 cars for the feature from the consolation race. Look, these guys will get a 5-minute warm-up period in between the B main and the feature, and then we go into the 40-lap feature events here, and these guys, I'm sure, ready to roar here tonight. And want to give a big shout out to the sponsors that came on board for this weekend. Southern Nevada Dwarf Cars putting up $100, as well as Gilbert and Shrum Bros Racing. So combined $300 spread out all the way through the field. Winner will get about $60 or so. Bats Warehouse, $10 to each of the heat winners. Dirt Pig to the hard charger of the night. Honeygirl Farms for the quick time, fast qualifier. And M&M Chassis putting up a $100 challenge to start from the rear of the field and win the A main. And the names that are eligible for that are Grenhart, Jones, Young, Spencer, and Abbott. So those are all the guys that will be eligible for that challenge tonight.
Indeed, so a few drivers looking to make their nights, well, shall we say, tricky. It's definitely not easy to start up front and then have to drop back to the rear of the field and to come back and win. It's no easy feat, let me tell you what, especially in these little short wheelbase midgets, because they are just they really can be a handful to control. So going from first to last and back to first, it's going to be a real challenge for some of these drivers. And well, I think that's why you got that $100 challenge that's going to be on the line. These guys, they're not doing it without knowing what the price is.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, all these guys going to be fighting hard tonight, as we saw last night, for the money. And all of these guys wanting a piece of the action here. So would also like to give a quick shout out to our channel sponsors here: Sawblade.com, Clan Wars Servers, Fame Design and Media, and East Coast Motorsports Media, and of course Race on Texas for everything they do here for LSRTV. And of course, you are watching WSDCA Racing Action here live at LSRTV, your home for sim racing since 2013. So these guys are going through the drivers meeting now. They'll be hitting the track for time trials in just a little while. With that being said, we're going to cut to a quick commercial break. Race fans, stay with us. WSDC Racing Action here live at LSR TV. We'll be right back.
They say everything is bigger. These guys down in Texas aren't messing around. This feature race will separate the boys from the men, the girls from the ladies. Can you handle racing 300 laps for $25,000? It's not as easy as you think. We don't stop to tow those too weak. We just push them out of the way. We don't run 20 laps. We run 300 each night. We don't care about what you and your boys have under the hood. Bring all you got. Don't be scared. Call my Cowboy Jack today to get signed up. It all goes down on October 2nd and 3rd in Mesquite, Texas, just outside of Dallas. Kenny Wallace is coming back this year to try again. You don't have excuses. Go to LoneStar600.com now.
And welcome back, race fans, to LSR TV, your home for sim racing. You're watching Western States Dwarf Car Association here live tonight from Volusia County, Volusia Speedway Park. These guys going into time trials, and again, it's going to be $10 for the quick time here tonight as we wait for times to roll in. The track is open, and these guys are ready to rip.
And already some guys out there on their hot laps, Brandon, ready to go. One of them being Tommy Velasquez the third, currently out there on the track, just down the back straight for his first hot lap of the night. He was on the he was up in the top 10 through the practice time, so he's going to be looking to follow that up with a good qualifying time here at Volusia. Ren Johnson currently holds the, check that, Cameron Russell with the pole with a 17.662. Ren Johnson down there in second place with Darren Brown, currently, was in third. We're getting kicked all the way down to about fourth or fifth now. Ryan Diotti now to the top with a 5.56.
Ryan Diotti, the only car into the 5 so far, and these guys get 4 times around the speedway to try to turn that quick time. So Ryan Diotti, 57 machine, now up at the board, the only car in the 4s, a whole 2/10 quicker than Camden Robustelli so far. Now Sean Jones up there with a 17.484, still 1/1000ths short off of the lead thus far.
And he's looking to get that power down and no doubt go for the lead. You don't often see qualifying times being separated by just 1,000th of a second. Really running up in the cushion. That probably just compromised one of his laps. In fact, he did a 17.902 for Jones on his second lap. Now, rounded lap number 3. The good news is, unlike most series, you do get 4 laps here, not just 2. So Jones, once again, around the outside, really trying to push it up to that outside wall. He's going to lose the back.
Oh, man, he's going to loop it. Jones looping it, and smart guy is going to travel it backwards just a little bit and turn himself around, try to get a good run here through quarter number 4. And he's gone. So Jones not quite that didn't quite work out to plan for him. So I do believe he got disqualified by the iRacing AI officials for going the wrong way.
That certainly wouldn't surprise me. There's only so far backwards you can go on a racetrack before, you know, the iRacing officials will take matters into their own hands and get rid of you themselves. And it looks like, well, Jones going to have an unfortunate end to his qualifying, and with him getting, spinning himself around. It looks like just about everybody has set times. The one driver that is not is Buddy Mills Jr., who didn't set a practice lap either, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, he's one of the officials here, so we won't be seeing him on track at all tonight. Ryan Winter up at the top of the board so far, 17.473. He's looking good to be your quick time so far, Nolan. These guys still got about 2 minutes left.
Not by much, 0.01 of a second. That's only about 100th of a second there. That's up there ahead of Ryan Diotti. So even though he got that pole, well, I'll tell you what, it was not by much, but Winter, good for him so far to keep things out there, and it looks like just about everybody else throughout the field has already finished up with their qualifying runs. So I hate to say, for anybody that wanted to go for that pole lap, I'm pretty sure that this one has been locked out in the hands here of Mr. Ryan Winter.
Absolutely, and you know, a lot of these guys, the fan favorites, Winter, Diotti, Sean Jones, all up at the top of the board at this very moment. And it's looking to be the Ryan and Ryan show up within the top 2, as we see every week here so far. Ryan Diotti, he's had some tough luck here the last couple of weeks. Ryan Winter had a tough one last night as well. Just wasn't quite able to get up there. Diotti managed to fight his way up to the front until he took a wild ride down into corner number 1 all the way up to the outside catch fence. So he has not been able to keep it on all 4 wheels the last couple of weeks here, and looking to change that tonight.
Absolutely, and well, he's gotten the pole from qualifying, but that's only going to put him on pole position for that first heat race. It's not going to lock him into the main just yet. He's going to have to survive that first heat race of the night before he will be secured in the main event, so he's going to have to win heat number 1 to put himself on the pole, and that's going to be the big ticket question. He got it in qualifying. Will be able to hang on against the Hornets' nest, though, when we get around to heat race number 1 in just a few seconds' time.
That is the question, and well, I think it's safe to say, race fans, that your quick time winner, $10 sponsored by Honey Girl Farms, goes to Ryan Winter here, and that it does. So he's going to be your quick time of the night as we go into heat race number 1.
And well, almost no surprise, Ryan Winter kicking things off on pole position with Cody Peters lining up beside him on that first row. It is going to be Bruce Napier and Justin Winter to kick off row number 2. Brandon Wiley and Colton Davis in 5th and 6th place. Corey Eaton and Merrick Pipe in 7th and 8th. And rounding out the 10-car field is going to be Vernon Hubbard and Toby Brown.
It's going to be 10 race machines, the Mighty Midgets, ready to take to some green flag racing after a brief, we'll call it a rain delay. The iRacing service was not cooperating with us, or the iRacing servers. iRacing, of course, staff members staying up late, and they got the phone call. They were woken up from a deep sleep, I'm sure, and they managed to get us back up and running here. And we're here presenting you. So shout out to iRacing, by the way, for such quick time. Their servers decided to crash, and they all ran to their computers or ran to the office, whatever may have happened there in Bedford, Massachusetts, and they got their stuff back up and running here in a pretty decent amount of time. So these guys are now ready to rip here for the first time of the night. They'll get about a lap and a half more around before we see the green flag drop.
10 cars for 10 laps. Top 4 are going to be advancing through into the feature event. Like you said, the mighty, if not quite puny midgets. I guess that would be where they got their name from, wouldn't it? The fact that they are quite small. Brandon Wiley, he's going to be looking to make something work for that final transfer spot currently held by Justin Winter up there in the 4th position.
So lights are out on top of the iRacing official pace truck. iRacing, the most trusted source for sim racers all over the world. They got some pretty good promotional codes going around for new members now. So if you want to get your toes wet and try out iRacing for yourself, or if you're new to sim racing and looking to see what it's all about, iRacing.com is the place you want to be. They've got about 40% off code going around, I do think. It'll be right on the homepage of the website. So, again, that's iRacing.com. These fields are stacked up and ready to go. Green flag is in the air for the first time of the night. Ryan Winter, the whole shot down into corner number 1 this time around. The battle for second is on as Napier looks to get around Peters, and he does.
And Wiley getting spun around to the back, and that's a massive, massive incident. 2 cars upside down behind them. One of those cars, well, actually 2 of them, so 9th and 10th are definitely going to be out of the fight immediately. So did not take long for things to get physical. Now side by side and more contact in the turn number 1. Colton Davis giving a shot to the left side there of just the winner. That was the move for the top 5, and now Davis trying to run down Corey Eaton in the final transfer spot.
Colton Davis saying, excuse me, pardon me, coming through, I'm faster, giving the little nudge back there to Corey Eaton, and Eaton just, he tried to fight back down low and just couldn't able to get there, so that puts Colton Davis all the way up to that 5th position. Brandon Wiley up there, I'm sorry, wow, my scoring is all messed up at the moment, so I do apologize. I'm trying to figure out who's in that 4th position. Corey Eaton up there in the 4th position at the moment.
Indeed, Corey Eaton holding the final transfer spot, and well, Davis is definitely running him down. That gap is closing and closing steadily. Right now, the closest battle on course is actually going to be for that 4th place now. I was about to say he's up for 2nd place, but now Davis looking for the inside here, potentially of Eaton down in the corner number 3, but he's not going to be able to make that one work just yet for him. He's going to be able to, well, he's been doing a good job so far reeling them in, and with about halfway through this first heat race, he's got some time yet to get that final transfer spot away from Eaton.
Yeah, that's exactly right, and he does have a little bit of time, but 10 laps in distance for each of these heats, and Eaton is starting to pull away from Davis now, and it's looking promising that Davis will probably end up in that B main event, and of course not promising for Colton Davis himself, but Corey Eaton looking to sail away with that transferred position. And speaking of sailing away, Ryan Winter up front here with a pretty large margin of gap.
Well, yes, absolutely. He's still continuing to pull away from it, too. He's got about almost 2.5 seconds now, as a matter of fact, as we cross the 2 to go mark here in heat race number 1 for the night. So Winter on a very, very good charge. 2.6 seconds separating Winter and Napier going down on the across the finish line the 9th time by. Now crossing over for the white flag. I think, well, Ryan Winter's going to find himself on pole position here for that main event, assuming he can keep it out of the wall here.
Yeah, absolutely. Ryan Winter kind of sailing away up front, and I noticed that groove is already getting pushed pretty high up against the wall, but this time at a corner number 4, it's going to be Ryan Winter with a heat race winner. Bruce Napier going to come home in that 2nd position. Cody Peters in 3rd. Corey Eaton going to sail home in the 4th and final transfer position.
Colton Davis was running him down in the first half of the heat and unfortunately did not manage to get the speed that he needed to run down into that 4th and final position for the transfer spot. On to heat race number 2, though.
Heat race number 2 here, and starting on pole, it's going to be the 57 machine, Ryan Ziotti inside front row. Right outside of him is going to be Cody Spencer. Starting in that 3rd position is going to be Ryan Martinez. Tommy Velasquez is going to be starting in that 4th position. Ren Johnson starting 5th. 6th is going to go to Kobe Kearns. 7th is going to be Brad Bain. 8th position is going to Tyler Blasher. Dylan Schrum riding in that 9th position. And starting in 10th is going to be John Chrisman.
Another 10 cars getting set to go for another 10 laps of racing. Well, you were talking about it would be the Ryan and Ryan show. Well, the first Ryan managed to get a massive jump over the field and actually come home with that heat race win by a solid 3.8 seconds. The question is going to be, can Diotti do the same? We know he's very, very good at these midgets. Question is going to be, how in the world will he be able to fare in his own heat race?
Yeah, it is the question. Ryan Diotti looking to come home with a heat race win, give him the best starting position here for the AMA, and of course, he has to get through it clean. His close competitor, Ryan Winter, managed to pull away with a clean heat race in Heat Race 1, and I'm sure that's the guys, or one of the few guys that he's looking to beat here tonight. I know Sean Jones is going to be another one. He'll be starting in Heat Race number 3 on the front row.
Just half a lap left to go before we go set racing for the second of 4 heat races of the night. It's going to be Mr. Diotti, and right next to him, Cody Spencer to lead them off. Ryan Martinez and Tommy Velasquez the third rounded off the transfer spots. Ren Johnson and Kobe Kearns, no doubt, going to be looking to try to get themselves some early transfer spots for the night. Green flag is out. We are off and away, and already almost making contact for second.
The whole shot goes to Diotti, but Martinez footing low for that second position, and rim riding at high wide and Hanson on the outside is going to be Cody Spencer. Spencer really looking to gain that second position away. All it is an insurance spot. Is the battle for that 4th position is on, and these guys are all wanting to transfer in, and around goes Martinez almost. A big time save back there for that 9 machine.
That left front picked off the ground. It was wanting to tip over, but good job on Martinez to get things situated and get himself back, all 4 wheels on the ground. Now this means that it's going to be Tommy Velasquez Jr., the third, into that final transfer spot. And now it's going to be up to Kobe Kearns to try to reel in that number 14 machine. Velasquez the third trying to find his way around Ren Johnson right on the back end. They're going to be side by side off of turn number 4 now. Down across the start finish line. Velasquez the third throws it up the inside of Johnson. Johnson trying to fight back though with the crossover. Down on the back straightaway. Not quite close enough though to make something work just yet.
No, not quite close enough. And Velasquez throwing that slider, and he tried the crossover and just couldn't quite get there. Still in a transfer position, but he's got Kobe Kearns coming up on his rear nerf bar real quick there in that 19 machine. Kearns trying to make something happen. Martinez hot on his trail as well.
And last lap, Kearns actually pushed up in front of Martinez, and Martinez giving a shot to the back nerf bar as Martinez. He's trying to make something up. He's going to put himself into the top 5 now of the second heat race. Now he's going to try to pull the slider on Kearns. They make contact.
Oh, man.
I was going to send Kearns around. Almost. He saves it barely. And now Kearns all of a sudden finds himself trying to defend against Brad Bain.
Slideways was the 19 machine, an epic save down the back straightaway. He managed to hang on to it, but he lost a ton of ground there. He tries to make his way around Brad Bain. He'd still have to get through Ryan Martinez and Ren Johnson for that transfer position. Things not looking good for Kobe Kearns at this very moment. And almost up to the outside wall again.
Well, yeah, he had to give a shot at the back bumper of Brad Bain. They're all still. Oh, hold on. Martinez is in the wall, and he's out bent over in that number 9 machine. He went all sorts of off him again. Lost the back end, and this time he didn't manage to hang on to it. So all of a sudden, Martinez, well, he is out of heat race number 2.
Well, that takes care of one position, but he's quite a ways back from Ren Johnson at this very moment. Ryan Diotti coming out of turn 4 to take the white flag this time around, one more time around the speedway for his heat win.
I'll tell you what, this has been some good racing so far in heat race number 2. It's all been completely split up now, though. Over 2 seconds separating Diotti and Spencer. And right now, there's absolutely nothing that they can do. It'll be Ryan Diotti to take the heat race victory. It's going to be Cody Spencer who is going to come around, and he's going to clinch that second place. Tom Velasquez third place, and Ren Johnson down in 4th.
So now on to heat race number 3, the second to last heat of the night before we go into B-Main racing action. Starting on pole inside front row is going to be the 11 machine, Darren Brown. His outside, one of the front runners that we see every week, is going to be Mark Hansen. Cody Major starting in that third position. Michael Grenner going to be starting in fourth. Nick Velasquez, my lord, I will get that name right one of these days. Nick Velasquez starting in that fifth position. Ryan Plexico starting sixth. Seventh is going to be Darren Balestrini. Eighth position is going to go to Tony Steffenmeiser. Ninth is going to be Chase Osborne. And William Canover going to be rounding out the field in 10th.
Indeed. So, well, another 10 cars. This is going to make the, well, we're thinking this is going to be the 21st to 30th cars that are going to be running now in the third heat race of the night. Another 10 laps getting set to go. Currently 8 cars locked into the feature in a meager 10 laps time. That number will be increased to an even dozen.
So Darren Brown going to be the control car here off of this initial start. He's got to watch out for Mark Hansen. His outside is, I'm sure Hansen wanting to make some noise in these heat races as well and get himself locked into a decent position through the main. But all these guys are the same boat. They're going to be going after that fourth and final transfer position, which is held by Spanky Michael Grenner right now. So all of these guys in about a lap and a half or so will be looking for that final transfer position, or maybe a half a lap. I lost track of the pace laps, Nolan.
It looks like we are going to be set to go here for heat race number 3, waiting for that pace truck to pull it off. It is going to be off and away. Darren Brown. Oh, hang on. Cody Majors nearly jumped at the start there. Clearly a little too antsy. Green flags out, but we're off and away. And already Majors trying to look up the inside for second place, unlike the two Ryans.
Oh,
Brown
man.
not getting nearly a good start this time for heat race number 3. Contact behind.
Look out, Mark Hansen almost up to the outside wall with a little bit of help there from the 12 machine of Grenner. Grenner stuffed him way up the track, and that'll put Mark Hansen all the way back into that fourth and final transfer position. He may have company from Velasquez back behind him.
Indeed, Velasquez trying to find his way, going for that final transfer spot. Hansen's gone from second to fourth in the span of just one lap, so it's all gone wrong for that second heat race for the number 79 machine here in heat race number 3, and now he's really trying to hang on to that final transfer spot to secure himself into the feature race tonight. And right now, Velasquez just has nothing for him in that number 41 machine. The top 4 are single filed out, and they are starting to pull away with their respective positions.
Well, Mark Hansen kind of looking at pulling up to the rear nerf bar of that 12 machine now, as he did have some speed. He tried running in that bottom groove that last time around, just couldn't make it happen. He's going to try one more time, and nothing for him down there. He's running right through the slick part of the racetrack, and he's going to lose a little bit of ground right there.
Velasquez trying to throw it up the inside of Mark Hansen on the entry to turns 1 and 2, but like you say, got caught in the slick stuff, wasn't able to get the momentum going and keep it carrying through the corners. The line is very much shifted to the outside of the racetrack. You're not going to find a whole lot of grip, a lot of momentum down through the center of the racetrack. The low line has turned to the slider line, because the second you get caught in that slick stuff, you're getting pushed right up to the outside wall, and it's one of the things that you really got to watch out for that, especially in the later heats, the Consolation race, and no doubt the feature as well. Got to look out for those sliders that could potentially cause some incidents later on.
Yeah, absolutely it could, and something we saw last night as well was those slab jobs being thrown here lap after lap, and those guys really making it work. And we noticed that grip strip down at the bottom starting to come into play later in the night as well, and I expect the same thing for tonight, as these guys are already trying that bottom line, and something that I like to call the slider line, is they start way at the bottom of the speedway and they drift all the way up by the time they hit corner exits. As all these guys making it work so far, looking pretty good for everybody to hold their respective positions, as long as nothing catastrophic happens up within the top 4.
And, well, Michael Grenner trying to find his way up there around Cody Majors. Wasn't able to find anything, but he definitely made that look down in the turn number 1. Majors still holding his own around the outside. Grenner almost up on 2 wheels there, trying to find his way around the outside. White flag in the air. Grenard still looking for that second position. He's a bit lower on the track off of the corner. He won't be able to capitalize off of this one, though. They are going to be going single file around the top side. It's going to be Jenner Brown to come away with the win. Cody Majors in second. Grenard rounds out the podium positions, and off of the alternate fourth final transfer spot, it is going to be Mark Hansen.
So with that race stands, we go into the final heat race of the night. It's going to be heat race number 4, starting on a pole inside front row is going to be the 55, Cameron Russell. Camden Robustelli going to be starting right behind him, right next to him rather, in second. Starting in third is going to be Josh Young. Fourth is going to be Ridge Abbott. Fifth position is going to go to Brandon Weatherford. Greg Winter starting in 6th. Devin McCree starting 7th. 8th is going to go to Dennis Gilcrease. Starting in 9th position is going to be Dennis Liebig. And starting in 10th is scheduled to be Buddy Mills, but he is one of the race officials. He will not be in the race car tonight.
So 9 cars taking the grid for the final heat race of the night. This is to lock out. Whoever wins this heat race will lock out 4th place in the feature race tonight. So that's what Cameron Russell is looking to do to put himself in the final spot on the top 2 rows before we have to go into the consolation race, which will of course be 20 laps with 8 drivers advancing through to the feature tonight. So Russell, Robustelli, Young, and Abbott currently holding those transfer spots. Keep an eye out for Brandon Weatherford. He's likely going to be a bit antsy here, trying to find his way up to the front and quick.
That he is. So Cameron Russell going to be leading these guys to the drop of the green flag. Next time around is when the pace truck will make its way into the safety of the infield. The 55 machine ready to get things rolling here for heat race number 4, the final heat race before we go into the 20-lap B main events.
Down the back straightaway for the final heat race of the night. 9 mighty midgets getting ready to go racing. We are stacked up, doubled up, ready to go racing once again here at Volusia Speedway. Pace truck pulls off as Russell really holding up that field, and now he's on the loud pedal. The green flag is out.
Hey Nolan, I noticed you stole my line there. Cameron Russell leading these guys down into quarter number 1. He'll get the whole shots and he'll continue with the lead all the way down into quarter number 3. He may have company from slow roller Josh Young all the way up the bottom of the speedway, almost clipping the inside tires there, and he's looking to get that first position. Slide job this time out of quarter number 2.
Well, what can I say about stealing your lines? It's something that I guess happens to be in my nature, I guess we could say. Young, though, not able to hold that lead as Russell threw it back up the inside and managed to get the move done. Down off of turn 3 and 4, but it's going to be another slide from Young. Crosses it up on Cameron Russell. Russell trying to fight back down the back straightaway, side by side for the heat lead again. That 55 machine looking very strong on the inside. Once again, throws it up the inside, and now Young looking to cut back.
Josh Young looking down at the bottom side of the speedway once again. He's going to slow roll it all the way around, trying to get that gripped out off a quarter exit, and he's going to try to pull away with it. A drag race at a quarter number 3. Now the slide job once again from the 17. The battle for the heat race win. It's going to be a drag race all the way down to quarter number 1 once again.
These two guys have just been going back and forth ever since the drop of the green flag. Just slide job on, slide job on, slide job on, slide job every single corner. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised. Actually, hold on, Josh Young trying to hug that inside barrier right along the concrete, but there's the momentum. Big man, the lead trying to shove the 55 car into the wall.
Big time contact between the 17 and the 55 there. Josh Young gonna walk away with a heat race lead at this very moment. The 55 of Cameron Russell still hot on his trail. Here comes Camden Robustelli. Where'd he come from? Those guys made enough contact for him to be able to catch up. They slowed the momentum, and here comes the 29 machine fighting for second.
Indeed he is. Camden Robustelli trying to go for that second position here in heat race number 4. Russell still trying to work that outside line. He's finally going to get clear of the 25 off of turn number 4. So now, well, Russell can try to focus more on getting the fight for the lead. Josh Young's doing a great job of pulling that inside line. Look, he's staying just below where the slick stuff is, trying to keep out of it. He's trying to pin himself right up against the concrete, and it's actually working for him. Something I didn't expect to see with how much slick stuff there is on the bottom side of the racetrack.
Yeah, absolutely. These guys making it work. A lot of throttle control is being involved there, and Josh Young walking away with this thing so far. He'll come down at a quarter number 4, still a little bit of a grip strip down there you can see. White flag is in the air one more time around the Volusia Speedway Park here in heat racing action.
Battle potentially on for second place in this heat race. Russell is still trying to find something on Russell Young, going to be in a class of his own. It's going to be a big slide job from Robustly up the inside. Russell trying to fight back, drag racing it to the line, but Russell can't get there. He's going to have to settle for third. Robustly picks up second place with Ridge Abbott rounding out the top 4. We move into the consolation race.
20-lap consolation racing action. It'll be 8 cars advancing to the feature. Starting on pole, the number 89 machine front row inside. It's going to go to Colton Davis. Kobe Kearns going to be starting to his outside. That'll make up row number 1. Nick Velasquez is going to be starting in that 3rd position. 4th is going to go to Brandon Weatherford. Starting in 5th is going to be Justin Winter. Brad Payne starting 6th. 7th is going to be Ryan Plexico. Devin McCree starting 8th. Brandon Wiley in 9th. Rounding out the top 10 is going to be Dylan Strum. Starting in that 11th position is going to be Chase Osborne. 12th is going to be Dennis Liebig. Going to be 13th is going to be Toby Brown. Tyler Blasher starting 14th. Darian Balestrini going to be in that 15th position. Dennis Gilcrease starting 16th. 17th is going to go to Vernon Hubbard. Going to be 18th is going to be John Chrisman. Tony Steffensmeyer going to be starting in 19th. Greg Winter in 20th. 21st is going to be Merrick Pipe. 22nd is going to be Ryan Martinez. And rounding out the field in 23rd is going to be William Conover.
An absolutely stacked consolation race tonight. The consolation half the distance of the feature race, 20 laps for your one and only consolation race. Out of 24 cars, only 8 will be able to advance through to the feature race tonight. Brandon Wiley and Dylan Strum, the 2 drivers rounding out the top 10 for this consolation race. The ones to look out for, they're going to be the closest to those 8 transfer spots. You gotta wonder if those guys up in the top 8 might race a bit harder because they're fighting for that race win in the consolation, or if they might try to take it a bit easier because they're already locked in, especially your front row.
Well, we've seen these guys lose this opportunity to get themselves locked into the A main by fighting for the B main win, and it's just not something you want to do. You know, in my personal opinion, if you're get that position locked in, and something that I've had success with in the past, is you got to start the A main to win the A main. So if you got yourself in a position to be locked in, it's not worth fighting for any more positions than what you have to in that B main, or fighting harder than what you have to, I should say, for the B main win. And you know, all these guys, of course, competitors, all want that victory, but sometimes you just got to take a deep breath and say, you know, maybe it's not worth it, and maybe it'll be worth fighting this battle in the A main once I get myself locked in. Nevertheless, pace truck making its way down into the safety of the infield. Colton Davis is on the throttle. Green flag is in the air, consolation race style.
And 4 wide in the back already. Big contact, a huge stack of ascent. Kobe Kearns all the way to the back for 2nd place, and he has just lost out on so many spots that he's definitely going to have to fight his way now. 4 wide still through turn number 4, just about as Kearns continues to drive his workers up. He's down to 7th in just 1 lap.
Yeah, down to 7th. We had 1 car up and over around the back. He managed to pull off of the racetrack. That was Dennis Gilcrease, so tough break for him.
Brad Kobe Kearns himself over.
No caution as of yet. We stay green as these guys are all clearing before we get back to them to trigger a caution. All these guys are fighting hard within the top 8, just as you said they would, Nolan, and it's putting these guys into a little bit of trouble as we see a battle for the transfer position is on now. Tyler Blasher getting around for that 8th position.
I'll tell you what, this is definitely an intense one.
Oh, man.
More contact there. What are they doing? They're bouncing.
Oh, around goes the 31, up and over. Big time wreck.
That's about the 4th crash we've seen in this consolation race, and we're not even a quarter of the way through. These guys need to chill out, and finally, the caution comes out. I'm sorry, but that was about 3 laps too late, if you ask me.
That one was enough. We have another car up and over as well, and That's going to be Greg Winter in the 32 machine up and over. And we saw these guys battling. Man, he took quite the ride all the way down the front straightaway. Let's see what happened. He was riding that high line, and the 52, big contact. He was trying to avoid the 29, and there was big contact there. And maybe we can see what happened. He went down the track, and he tried. Oh, wow. He tried turning around, he flipped over right in front of the leaders, and that was a big contact. Have to send AMR medical team out for him, I'm sure. Oh, man. Just kept getting hit.
I'll tell you what, that was a bunch of drivers that are fighting way too aggressively for spots that they did not need to fight for. That was, if I am to say, that was, I'm honestly at a loss for words. There were probably about 6 or 7 different crashes in the first 5 laps of that Consolation race alone. That was a bunch of people racing way too hard, and there were probably about 4 or 5 cars that turned over in that span of a time as well. It's almost as if, you know, you see these guys and you think they're fighting for the A main win, but no, this is just for the Consolation race. But that was something else, if I'll say anything about it.
Yeah, absolutely, but the field stacked up, doubled up, ready to go back to green flag racing action. Delaware style restart. It's going to be Colton Davis all out on the front row, all by his lonesome out there. That 89 machine ready to get the field underway once again, Nolan.
Ready to get things rolling once again. Colton Davis looking to lead them off. Justin Winter down in second place, and it's going to be Ryan Plexico up in third. So the green flag comes back out. We are up and win already, looking 3 wide again. Down in turn 1, contact is almost going to send Chase Osborne to the outside wall. 4 wide though for third as they come off in turn number 2.
Man, oh man, these guys racing like they're trying to steal $100,000 here in the B main, and all of these guys are fighting their hardest and nearly putting themselves into more trouble. As I saw one car nearly going up and over. There was a 19 machine, more contact. The 56 of Osborne almost going up and over there. He almost made heavy contact with the outside guardrail. He falls all the way back to that 6th position.
These guys need to calm down, or they're going to take out a lot more cars than they need to. Osborne still with 6th place, trying to pull around the outside line. He's going to do so in that number 56 car, and now behind them, battling for one of the transport, Dennis Liebig, trying to find his way around 7th place of Brandon Wiley. In the 33, rounded by the outside line, more contact. That's going to send Liebig around now. He's going to hang on to it, maybe just. That's going to put right on the bubble, though. I'm telling you, these guys, this is not over.
No, this is definitely not. And man, all of these guys are fighting so hard throughout this B main and putting a couple of these guys into trouble. But right now is going to be Dennis Liebig going to have that transfer position. Chase Osborne might be in trouble. There was more contact between him and the 77 machine again. Oh man, and the 77 get up and out, fall back to that 9th position, 3 wide for the transfer position once again.
I think at this point we're getting to down and dirty racing at this point here at the dirt track of Volusia Speedway. Chase Osborne getting pushed right into the wall by Brandon Wiley on the back straightaway. Ryan Martinez trying to have a go for 7th place. And
up and over.
And that will end Chase Osborne's night in a heartbeat right there for the 56 car. He has so many close calls, but it's all come to fruition now. And dearie me, it was only a matter of time.
Absolutely it was. He's able to get off the track here before the leaders come around, so no caution will be thrown. Justin Winter up there in that 28 machine trying to battle for the race lead and possibly the race win. Velasquez up there as well. It's going to be Nick Velasquez in that 41 machine trying to make something happen, trying to make some noise with him in the 28.
Velasquez in that 41 car trying to find his way up there. Winter getting pitched into the concrete by Colton Davis down the back straightaway. Battle on from fourth as well, right behind him, but side by side for the lead. Winter still trying to find his way around as Davis pulls that outside line, and he's able to hang on to the lead for now. Just 3 laps left to go in the Consolation race. We're in a 4-car fight for the lead now.
3 laps to go. Now make it 2.5 as they head down into quarter number 3. The 28 machine. Does he have any more juice left? Here comes Ryan Plexico on the outside. Where did he come from? And the 3 machine trying to fight all the way against the outside cushion is Plexico, and he's making up some ground. He's all the way up to that 3rd position, or fighting for 3rd against the 41.
He's still pulling that outside line. He's going to be able to take 3rd place and win. Now the question is, can he take 2nd place as well? No, he can't, because he gets too close to the wall. Has to back out. White flag is out. Plexico nearly running through Velasquez's rear nerf bar there, and well, it's going to be Colton Davis now through 3 and 4. He's going to be all clean and green to the 89 machine, taking the win. It's going to be Winter for 2nd, Velasquez 3rd, Plexico 4th. Wiley hits the wall, but comes home in 5th. Cope Kearns in 6th. Brandon Weatherford scoops up 7th place, and Ryan Martinez, he's also going to be advancing down in 8th place. Dennis Liebig having to settle for 9th for the night. He's also going to be done.
Unbelievable B-Main Racing action, and ladies and gentlemen, we've still got more to come with A-Main Racing action. These guys are going to go to a quick warm-up session, and we're going to go to a quick commercial break. Stay tuned. You're watching WSDCA Racing Action here live on LSRTV. We'll be right back.
They say everything is bigger. These guys down in Texas aren't messing around. This feature race will separate the boys from the men, the girls from the ladies. Can you handle racing 300 laps for $25,000? It's not as easy as you think. We don't stop to tow those too weak. We just push them out of the way. We don't run 20 laps. We run 300 each night. We don't care about what you and your boys have under the hood. Bring all you got. Don't be scared. Call my Cowboy Jack today to get signed up. It all goes down on October 2nd and 3rd in Mesquite, Texas, just outside of Dallas. Kenny Wallace is coming back this year to try again. You don't have excuses. Go to LoneStar600.com now.
Welcome back, race fans, to LSRTV. Here you're watching WSDC racing action here live from the Volusia Speedway Park. And again, we've been your home for sim racing since 2013. A huge shout out to your event sponsors here tonight: Southern Nevada Dwarf Cars, Gilbert, Shrimp Rose Racing, Bats Warehouse, Dirt Pig, Hunter Girl Farms, and M&M Chassis. And of course, it'll be a $300 spread all throughout the fields tonight, and M&M Chassis is putting up $100 for those eligible who volunteer to start at the back of the field and come up to win the A main. And names eligible are Grenner, Jones, Young, Spencer, and Abbott. And every single one of those names I can picture up front of this field here tonight, as it will be exciting racing as these guys get the check-in on warm-up. We're ready to go A main racing action, and Nolan, it's time to bring you your starting lineup.
It absolutely is. It's going to be the Ryan show up front. It's going to be Winter starting things off on pole. Diotti in second place. Darren Brown and Josh Young round out your heat race winners of third and fourth place. Bruce Napier and Cody Spencer in fifth and sixth. Cody Majors and Camden Robustly in seventh and eighth. Camden Robustly in eighth place. Cody Peters and Thomas Velasquez the third in ninth and 10th. Michael Grenard and Cameron Russell in 11th and 12th. Corey Eaton and Ren Johnston in 13th and 14th. Mark Hansen and Rich Abbott in 15th and 16th. Colton Davis and Justin Winter in 17th and 18th. Nick Velasquez and Ryan Plexco in 19th and 20th. Brandon Wiley and Kobe Kearns 21st, 22nd. Brandon Weatherford and Ryan Martinez round out the 24-car field tonight. I can already see Josh Young, Michael Grenner, and Rich Abbott being given their EOL so they can go for that M&M challenge tonight.
Absolutely correct. And Ryan Winter has something to say tonight, as well as Ryan Ziotti, to prove that they can win here at the Volusia Speedway Park. Their night last night did not quite go as planned, both of them ending up and over at one point during the night. And both of these drivers are looking to come home with a possible victory tonight after the 40 laps are all said and done.
Well, let's hope that this feature race is going to be a little less physical than that consolation race, because I'll tell you what, there were some serious punches being thrown in those 20 laps alone. This race is, well, field size 24 cars, but twice as long, so I'll have to see what that means. Cars will be taking a bit easier towards the start, or whether these drivers are going to be deciding to throw those punches a bit earlier, or even maybe get some of the back runners out of the way early on into tonight's race. One lap to go before we get set to go racing for 40 laps tonight at Volusia.
Yeah, flagger signaling one lap to the green next time around. And again, we'd like to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. If you want your races broadcast here live at LSRTV, go over to livesimracing.com, over to the broadcast with us page, and you can see all of our pricing packages for everything that we have available. And of course, feel free to message us on Facebook. Be sure to like and subscribe. It really does help us out. And all of these guys are ready to go racing here now as the pace truck makes its way down into the safety of the infield. Race fans, hang on to your hats, buckle your seatbelts. It's showtime.
And already a good start there from Darren Brown. He's trying to throw it to the inside. He's trying to make that move from the lead early on, and he's not going to be able to make that work and have to drop back to third around the inside groove. Ryan Diotti just too good around that top side, following Winter along the high groove, and they're going to be able to pull that around. So, well, your two Ryans, Winter and Diotti, off to a flying start in the feature race tonight.
Diotti pulls the slide job. He puts Ryan Winter all the way over to the outside wall and on the top shelf. Ryan Winter going up and over.
And coming back right in the path of Justin Winter, who absolutely pounded the side of that number 4 machine and almost had both of them around. So now, well, Winter has found himself, and he's just been, shall we say, volunteered for that M&M Blast to First challenge as well, right out of the gate, probably against his will as well. So Winter having some serious work cut out for him. Wasn't up and over. He's not out of this fight just yet.
How in the world he landed on the top shelf above the barrier, and he managed to drive it back out onto the racing surface under his own power. Unbelievable. Still racing around the Volusia Speedway Park, though probably with an nail-handling race car, but unbelievable driving from Ryan Winter, and some unbelievable luck on his side.
Oh, absolutely. It's a good thing. Oh, caution has just come out across the speedway. One car.
Oh, Corey Eaton up and over.
Yeah, it was on the front straightaway. Like you said, Brandon Weatherford as well, as a matter of fact. And actually, when it started, when it did even get loose.
Well, let's see what happens. Weatherford going for a wild ride, as well as Eaton down there at the bottom. And looking down here on the LSRTV replay, they were 3 wide there for a brief moment, and the 41, trying to see what happened. It looked like, oh, the 41 made contact with the 89 of Colton Davis, or the 46 rather, made contact with Colton Davis, the 89 machine, and that sent him around, and Weatherford getting collected, and up and over both of those drivers go, and Weatherford going for quite the barrel roll down into corner number 1.
Nick Velasquez as well got some contact in the middle of that as well. He jumped up on 2 wheels, but luckily he came out of it all right. He ended up landing on all 4 wheels, and well, he didn't even spin around, kept going straight, but that's unfortunate for those 3 drivers getting caught up in early incidents tonight. Good job on that 89 car to hold it steady there despite the minor issues for this one as well. Well, I'll tell you what, this was an interesting start to the race, and well, one of the rides is just waiting around the pace car. That was Winter getting his lap back. Ryan Diotti going to hold the lead, and all of a sudden, he's not going to have Winter to follow on the top side there.
No, and he's going to be marked as your new race leader. I'm sure no oppositions there. It was contact between him and Ryan Winter that sent Winter up onto the outside wall, up on top of the outside wall. This will help Winter out quite a bit. He'll be starting towards the back of this pack, but he'll be able to catch up to the field once again and hopefully try to make his way through. And well, he took to the back of the challenge last night from M&M Chassis, and he was not able to make his way up through the field very easily. He made it about halfway before getting up and over onto his roof, if I remember correctly. So I'll have to try it again. The field is stacked up, doubled up, ready to go green flag racing once again. It's going to be Ryan Ziotti in charge as the pace car pulls in. They're on the throttle. Green flag is in the air once again.
Great jump there from Diotti. Can Brown try to have something for him down in the turn number 1? He's not going to be able to do that, but they're 3 wide behind them. More contact. That's further in the back between Brandon Wiley, and it looked like Josh Young. Young trying to throw it the inside. They're going 4 or 5 wide in turn 3. One of the spots went down the field. Young way on the inside now, back down to 3 wide racing, but Young, he's looking to climb right to the field, but he's into the concrete, and he's going to lose a bunch of spots there.
Oh man, a gaggle of race cars back there. 4, almost 5 wide once again. This is all for the latter half of the top 10, Nolan.
Indeed, latter half of the top 10. This is what it's really intense racing down here. A lot of contact going up front too. And this is really aggressive stuff here. Mark Hansen trying to give the Nerf bar really to Cody Majors up front. Majors holding his own though around that inside groove. Cody Peters as well trying to find his way around the top side. He's trying to get around Tommy Velasquez the third around the outside. So all sorts of lines coming into play tonight, and well, it's really a Hornets that's 4 wide for 3rd place.
It was 4 wide. Hansen playing it smart and backing out of that dangerous position. 4 wide once again, and Hansen trying to duck low and almost made it 5 wide. Contact at a corner number 4. Everybody somehow manages to hold it straight.
The beauty of the Mighty Midgets is that they, because of their nimbleness and how small they are, you can easily go 4 wide without much of an issue. Unless you got 3 cars trying to pinch each other into the same piece of real estate, as that's exactly what Hansen just did. He chopped the bumper on Cody Majors and put him down into the spot in the 7th place. Hansen now, he's trying to close in the gap to Darren Brown, while meanwhile, still side by side for that final podium position between Peters and Velasquez III.
Man, oh man, I mean, these guys are battling it out hard as Cody Peters ripping that high side all the way around, and Tommy Velasquez wanting to have something to say about that podium position down on the low side of the speedway. The 14 machine trying to rip around here right now, and so far making it work. It's going to be a drag race down into corner number 3.
Josh Young up and over in turn number 2 in the number 17 machine. Big rollover for Young, who is now stuck on his roof. He is going to be out of the fight. Will this bring out a yellow? It will not. We stay green. But Josh Young, his night is going to end early tonight.
Man, oh man. Tough break for Josh Young. He's a front runner every week, and now over to the outside wall is a 30. Somehow managing to hold it under control is Cody Peters. He's going to lose a couple of positions in the process, but he managed to hang on to it almost up to the outside guardrail once again.
And still side by side behind between Majors and Hansen. Neither driver want to give each other any room. Majors with a big slider there on Hansen. Hansen trying to fight back on the inside. He's going to be able to continue to outdrag him.
Oh, look out.
Between them. That might have been delivered from Hansen as he tried to get to Cody Majors. And now that's allowed Ryan Plexico through as well.
Hansen will kind of the odd duck out of that situation. I think the 54 machine got a little bit loose there down off of corner number 4. His rear tire hit the slick down the straightaway and it sent him down the racetrack, and they made contact, nerf bar to nerf bar there. And it just did not work for Mark Hansen, that 79 machine, as he's going to lose a couple of spots. Now, he's stuck in this slick, and he's going to keep losing positions if he can't change up his line. Now he moves up to the high side of the racetrack, and he's in a better position.
Battle for third on as well. Velasquez the third just losing out to Darren Brown, who they made a little bit of contact as well down the front straightaway. The number 11 getting the move done on the 14 car. Now the third trying to find his way around the outside again, but he is going to be confirmed at the line to lose out on that third position. The battle for the lead might pick it up as well. Camden robustly trying to find his way around the outside, but gets cut off by Ryan Diotti. So Diotti not able to pull away like he did in his heat race.
No, absolutely not. He's got company from the 25 machine of Robustelli. This is the battle for the race lead. We're already past the halfway point. Robustelli ducking down on the left side, trying to pull the slide job, not able to clear. He's going to have to try to regather and go after it again. We know that he can carry the speed against Ryan Diotti. See if anything can be done. Maybe some connectivity issues up there with the 57 machine. See if he can get it sorted out, but Robustelli has some ground to make up now.
Indeed he does. Robustelli's got his work cut out for him. The good news is he's got about 18 laps left, so he's got plenty of time to make up that time for sure. This fight is not over yet. Right now, really the top 4 looking to be single filed out. The closest side-by-side battle is for 5th place between Cody Peters and Cody Majors. But that battle is just getting itself settled as well. So now things are starting to spread out throughout the field. Now Mark Hansen still trying to find his way back around Ryan Plexico. That is the battle for 7th.
That it is. Plexico has some company back there. Mark Hansen trying to make some noise as Plexico really trying to fight for that position, and it's going to be a drag race and almost a little bit of contact there that time. Now caution flag flies.
So yellow flag out for the second time tonight, and this one looks like it might have been with Michael Granner. In fact, it was Michael Granner getting pinballed around up turn number 4 after contact with it looked like Ryan Johnson to kick this one off.
Yeah, those guys, it looked like Ren slid up the racetrack just a little bit, and it was enough to kind of right rear the 12 machine. He'll get sent around, and he tried to get it up and going, and he gets hit once again, and again down the front straightaway. So really tough contact with the 12 machine, and I'm sure he's got some pretty heavy damage to that race machine, and he's gonna have to come in with his crew, get it fixed up, and see if we get it back out there.
Yes, indeed. So it's definitely been a more than unfortunate night for a few of these drivers, and well, I think he is no exception. So it's a really big shame, it really is, but you know, that is the nature of dirt racing. You know, some races you're very good at it, some races you're not. It's a really a huge shame for quite a few of these drivers to, you know, have their nights ending early. And well, Ren Johnson being delivered with the EOL for causing that incident. Unsurprisingly, to say the least, it was Ren Johnson that pushed up into him. But well, second caution of the night. We're gonna have about, what is it, 11-12 laps to go at the green, right?
Yeah, I do believe that's about right. So as well, yeah, that's about right. Lights up on top of the pace truck are off at this moment, so these guys 12 laps to go when they get the green flag. Ryan Diotti go to the control car once again.
Once again in that control car and still trying to find something to work. This is going to be the big ticket question. What will he be able to do to make something work? We still have about, it's going to be 12 laps to go at the line. Diotti on the loud pedal. We're off and away once again to Volusia.
Ryan Diotti gets the whole shot down into corner number 1. And it's going to be a battle for second now. Robustelli's got company underneath him. That's going to be Darren Brown in the 11 trying to make some noise. It's going to be 3, almost 4 wide for the second position.
4 wide down the front straightaway. Still making contact. One car getting spun around in the front. Who is that just got spun around? He's gathered it up immediately. It looked like it was Justin Winter that might have gotten sent around. Either that or it was Corey Eaton that got spun around. But my goodness, big slide there for whoever that was. And well, that was right. Plexico from 6th place. He's the one that ended up with that contact. Now he's missing. He's got some big damage on that car as well. So Plexico, unfortunately, his night might be over as well. He's not going to be able to go for a win tonight.
Man, oh man, tough breaks all around. Now, Ryan Ziotti has more company up at the front of this thing. Darren Brown trying to make some noise for the race lead. Not quite able to get there. He's going to try to make the dive underneath Ziotti once again.
Indeed, trying to put him in. Darren Brown still trying to find something around Ryan Ziotti. Ziotti, though, able to pull that outside line. He's certainly ripping it well around that outside groove. And, well, caution has come out. This could be a game changer here. Brandon Wiley up and over down the back straightaway. Was this contact? It certainly was. Wiley got to the back of Bruce Napier, then up into the 2-car of Cody Spencer. And, well, Wiley pounded the outside wall where he collected, I think he actually collected Ryan Winter, as a matter of fact. That's a huge shame for Winter.
Oh, man. Tough break for Ryan Winter there. Heavy damage to the front end of that race machine. And very, very unfortunate there for that whole team.
Absolutely. That is such a tough break for Winter. He pulled away by about over 3 seconds, actually, in his own heat race. And unfortunately, well, he got off to a terrible start in the feature, and now it's just gone from bad to worse. He has.
So the field's still in the hands of Ryan Ziotti up here. Is not this time, but I want to say next time around they should be getting the green flag. Like, should be going out up on top of the iRacing pace truck this time around.
Say what, this has been a tough night for a few drivers indeed, and well, Ryan Ziotti, he's looking to end it off strong tonight. Going to be 5 laps to go when we take the green.
And it was kind of an odd situation with Sean Jones as well. He was supposed to be in this race, and I don't know what happened. I think it was an iRacing error not allowing him to racing in the event. So a very odd situation, but nevertheless, Ziotti on the throttle, and he's going to be underway here. The whole shot once again goes to the 57 down into corner number 1, racing heavily back behind them, and already going to be fighting up there for the race lead here very soon, as a couple of these guys really right on the back nerve bar of that 57 machine.
Look at this. It's a hornet's nest of cars down the front straightaway with just 4 laps left to go. 3 wide. Down for 3rd place, but here comes Darren Brown trying to gun for the leader on Ryan Ziotti. Up the inside. Can he throw the slider? He's going to try it, but he's not going to be able to get close enough to make that one work. Still 3 wide. For 3rd behind him, though, Cody Majors pulling that middle group perfectly. He's going to finally clear in the 54 machine.
Ryan Ziotti right up against the outside guardrail that time, down through corners number 1 and 2. He's got company to his inside. They come out of corner number 4. They'll get the 2 to go signal this time at the stripe.
Darren Brown still trying to find something to work. He's going to be deep into turn number 1, but Ziotti still able to pull around to the outside line. And I think if Ziotti can keep doing what he's doing, Darren Brown is not going to be able to do anything to go for the win. Here it is, though. Could it be a slider? Not just yet. I think that's just handed Ziotti the win as they take the white flag.
He's still got 1 more lap, Darren Brown does, to try to make this thing happen. And I think Ziotti is in pretty good shape at the moment, but he's got company to his inside right as I say that. The 11 machine going to try to take a stab at it. They wreck behind him. Ziotti up and over down in corner number 4. The 11 machine, Darren Brown's going to come home with an main win. Ryan Ziotti ends up and into the catch fence. Unbelievable finish to this event.
What an upset there. Darren Brown managed to take the win. Diotti completely shooting himself in the foot there, completely his own mistake. Pushed up too close to the wall and went up and over the wreck behind them. What an absolute travesty for Diotti on the final lap of a 40-lap feature.
I'd really like to go back on replay if we can to see exactly what happened to Diotti. Wait for producer's word to see if we can do that at this instant before we run through the race results. Because what an unbelievable turn of events. It was going to be probably a drag race down to the start finish, and Diotti drifted up a little bit too high. I think he drove it a little bit too deep, and he went up into the outside billboards. He said, basically said hello to NGK up there, and how you doing up and over.
Oh my goodness.
See if we can look at the LSR replay, and that's exactly what happened. His car pushed a little bit, maybe a little bit of contact with that outside guardrail on entry. It shot him up the racetrack just a little bit, and hello NGK, how you doing? Up and over onto his lid, and big airtime for Ryan Diotti as everybody coming to the checkers. Is one other car up and over there as well, as after made contact with Ryan Diotti.
You know what it was? It was actually mid-corner contact with the guardrail. That's what happened to Diotti. He got pinched by the guardrail, and then right in turn number 4, there's a little bit of dirt that bangs up against the guardrail. That's what ramped him up into the billboard. There's actually the dirt embankment that usually drivers try to flirt with to get them some extra speed going off of 4. Diotti, he just pushed turn 4 too hard. That's exactly what happened there.
Yeah, so tough break for Ryan Diotti, and not the night that he wanted once again. He was oh so close and just could not hold a decent finish here from Volusia. We'll run through your race results, your final race results. You're the A main events. Coming home with a race win, the number 11 machine, Darren Brown, after a hard-fought battle all the way through tonight's event. Tommy Velasquez is going to be coming home in that second position, the 14, Robustelli in third. Fourth is going to go to Cameron Russell. Fifth is Cody Peters. Sixth is going to go to Bruce Napier. Seventh is going to be Mark Hansen. Eighth is Nick Velasquez. Ninth is going to be Cody Spencer. Rounding out the top 10 is going to go to Cody Majors. Finishing 11th is Brandon Weatherford. Ryan Plexco finishing in that 12th position. 13th is going to be Ryan Winter. Josh Young in 14th. And Kobe Kearns going out of your top 15. And the rest of the field will flash on your screen. And Nolan, what an event we saw tonight.
Absolutely. That was certainly one heck of an event, one heck of a feature race, and what an upset as well. Diotti was looking set to come away with the win after Winter had an unfortunate event of his own, and it was fine. It looked like Ryan Diotti would be able to come away with another one, and well, unfortunately, it just all went wrong. Again, his own mistake costing him the win in the final corner.
Absolutely, it did. And race fans, we're going to go to a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. You're watching WSDCA live at LSRTV. We'll be right back with you.
They say everything is bigger. These guys down in Texas aren't messing around. This feature race will separate the boys from the men, the girls from the ladies. Can you handle racing 300 laps for $25,000? It's not as easy as you think. We don't stop to tow those too weak. We just push them out of the way. We don't run 20 laps. We run 300 each night. We don't care about what you and your boys have under the hood. Bring all you got. Don't be scared. Call my Cowboy Jack today to get signed up. It all goes down on October 2nd and 3rd in Mesquite, Texas, just outside of Dallas. Kenny Wallace is coming back this year to try again. You don't have excuses. Go to LoneStar600.com now.
This broadcast is the copyright
WSDC Racing action, as we saw quite the show here, and what an awesome race all around it was. And unfortunately not getting any drivers for post-race interviews, and that is all okay. I know it's been a late night for everybody after, I guess we'll call it a rain delay here at the beginning of this thing. Of course, shout out to all of our partners. First of all, I want to thank iRacing for getting everything back up and running here as quickly as they did. That way we could provide you with the awesome racing action that you saw here tonight. And, of course, the partners here for the event this weekend: Southern Nevada Dwarf Cars, Gilbert, Shrum Bros Racing, Bats Warehouse, Dirt Pig, Honey Girl Farms, and M&M Chassis. And race fans, that will wrap up coverage for here tonight in Volusia County. We'd like to thank everybody for tuning into our coverage of WSDCA. Run Your Races broadcast. Head over to livesimracing.com to get your pricing and more information. We'd like to give a huge shout out to our channel partners, Sawblade.com, Clan War Servers, Fame Design and Media, and East Coast Motorsports Media. From all of us here at LSRTV and the virtual Volusia Speedway Park, we'd like to say good racing and good night, and we'll see you next time.
This broadcast is the copyrighted work of LSRTV and may not be rebroadcast, retranslated, or used in any form without the express written consent of 52 Media LLC and iRacing.com Motorsports Simulations. LSRTV would like to thank you for your support, and we hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast.